My friends, hello from the United Kingdom, which I'm visiting for a relatively short time, just 2 days. Today, I'd like to talk to you about an issue regarding job postings, which lists a lot of required skills. When you read these job postings, you wonder, should I even apply? Because I don't even meet a third of what they consider essential. So, I'd like to talk to you to tell you why companies post unrealistic job ads and what you can do about it. There are two reasons, one of which is probably pretty obvious, and I'll tell you about it. There's another, less obvious reason with a big psychological and financial impact. I'll discuss it at the end, in the second part of the video. So, anyway, let's talk about the ads. So, when you read the ads, you'll see like we're looking for so and so, men, women, and then they'll talk to you about experience, about degrees, about skills, job description, etc. I spent a long time in big companies and small ones, but I mostly worked in the big ones, and I noticed something. It's that the ads are often made not in a scientific way, not in a way where, let's say, they really think things through and all that. I've seen ads put together almost randomly. It happened to me to be sitting in an open space and you have a guy who shows up with his laptop, his briefcase. Guys, sorry, we want to recruit, I don't know, someone. Can you tell me, in your opinion, what are the necessary skills for the team? And you have 30 guys who are throwing out a skill from every corner. It could be languages he should speak, experiences he should have, technologies he should master, degrees, stuff like that, all of that. And then the person is typing, and actually a job posting that's elaborate that probably fits a cyclops. That means the person who has all these characteristics doesn't exist in this universe. They don't exist here. So you see the job posting comes out, it's published, and you see it on LinkedIn, you see it on job sites and all that. And then when you read it, you're like, wow, am I capable? So let me tell you something. You have to take advantage of the disorganization of companies. If they post a job ad, it means they're looking for someone. Interpret it that way, they're looking for someone. All right, so instead of getting stuck on the details of the ad, which, just fell off the truck, the ad, they don't care. Still participate, send your resume, send your application. Even if you only check a third of what they're looking for, just go for it, because maybe you check a third and you don't dare to send your application. And then, so someone who's way below you will dare to do it, all right? He dares. You see what I mean? Those who overthink don't dare, but there are people who don't think too much and they dare, all right? And because they dare, they end up getting the job. And you wonder, how did they do it, right? So always go for it, no matter what is written in the ad. At worst, they say no, it's not the end of the world. Now we're going to move on to the second part, and the second part is very, very specific. Let me tell you something. It comes down to a mindset. And that mindset costs you money. I'll tell you, but before I do, look, in the pinned comment, I put the link to what they use. They're based in France and they help a lot of people find a job after losing theirs, or they also help them switch from one job to another. They also help with reading job ads and navigating the difficulties of job postings. Their support is covered under certain conditions by France Travail. You have the link in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll tell you about the second part of the video. Imagine that, Jay, I need someone who can speak for my company. I need someone who speaks German. That's all. I don't care about the rest. I just want them to speak German. Okay, so I'll put in the ad. Here we go. Looking for a man, woman, someone speaks German, Chinese, French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever. So you come in and you send your application. You say, I'm sorry, I speak French, I speak German, I lived in Germany or in Alsace, etc. I speak German like a native, but well, I send my application anyway, but I'm not too sure. And they'll see the German, oh, there's someone who speaks German too, like a native, awesome. Call yourself, you come to the interview while feeling diminished, and then after a while, imagine that it goes well. They make you an offer. So what will happen with this offer? you will feel like they are doing charity. By hiring you, you feel like you are inferior to their needs. You feel like you are really below those needs. And that despite everything, you got lucky. You got a stroke of luck, as they say. You got hired, and you say to yourself, wow, great. At that point, they would make you a salary offer, and what will happen? Are you going to accept a lowball salary offer? Why? Because you feel like you got hired even though you don't deserve it. They are very twisted, very devious, and one of their classic tricks is exactly to make you think that you don't deserve it. And so, because you don't deserve it, you'll settle for a small salary. All right, so let's go over this again. You should never, it's a poker game. Salaries are like a poker game if you want. It's psychological tension, it's bluffing, all of that. So, first of all, if they make you an offer to recruit you, it's because they're interested in you. And you check enough boxes for them to see that you bring value. So, in their eyes, they choose you among so many others. So, you shouldn't feel undervalued and then go accept just anything, telling yourself, yeah, but the job posting was much lower anyway, and they still chose me, all right? Essential. Okay, so let me sum up the two things. First, you go for it anyway, even if you only match a fraction of what they're asking for, because most of them don't really know what they're doing. Often, these job postings are simply copy pasted from other postings or from several they already have. They just Frankenstein them together to make one that they put online. So don't pay too much attention to the details. That's the first point. And the second is don't feel discouraged, because the job posting doesn't match anyone in this universe. So if they picked you, if they're ready to hire you, don't let yourself be crushed by their, how should I say, by the salary they offer you. Especially when you compare it to the job posting. Be direct, stand up for your interests, and that's it. Thank you, my friends. If you've watched this video up to this point, let me remind you about my book, Toxic, which you can find on Amazon in Kindle format, in paperback format. It's a book that will change your perspective. Those who have read it can testify in the comments. It's a book that can change the way you approach things. It's not very long, but it's very brutal. It changed those who read it, and it changed me. It changed me, Aldosterone, the one who wrote it. All right, so just reminding you again, the comment from the person who uses it is pinned, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon,